Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog in the animal.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in pints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me for the first time on Beer with Geeks, but not for the first time in my life, is my fiancée, Mary. How are you today, Mary?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Timothy.
Excellent. Some listeners might recognize Mary's dulcet tones, and that they are not Frank's.
La 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 la.
Right, they might recognize Mary's tones from Tolkien TV Talk in the special episodes Uncoding the Silmarillion.
Silmarillion.
There, yeah, see?
Say it with me.
Nope, I won't.
Okay.
Silmarillion.
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 Sil. Ma. Ril. E. Un.
Tuttara fruit. It's the same. It's the same.
It's a valiant effort.
Yeah. So anyway, Frank is indisposed this week. So Mary is kind enough to step in.
He's not ill.
No,
like indisposed.
Well,
ill.
in the head, sure, but
aside from that, he's fine.
He's fine. No, Frank is on vacation. So with his lovely wife. Ooh. So anyway, here on Beer with Geeks, we normally sit back, crack open a couple of beers, talk about those beers, then talk about a topic. But Mary does not drink beer, so I'm not going to force you to do so.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome.
That.
You're actually drinking nothing right now.
No, I just had a glass of water / seltzer.
Oh, see? You just
mixing it up.
Foxy lady. And I am actually also drinking a seltzer because I didn't feel like a beer because it's late for beer. That's it. So while Frank is gone, there's no beer. It's just geeks. With geeks.
Geeks.
Podcasting with geeks. Anyway, we're here to talk about a very unfortunate event, Mary. Seemingly many fortunate events, perhaps, about the Baudelaire orphans. Orphans here is a word that normally means children without parents. We're not those.
No.
Thankfully. So anyway, Mary and I are going to talk about a series of unfortunate events, which was just wrapped up its third and final season on Netflix. So if you haven't watched it, listen to this episode anyway. But we are going to spoil pretty much the whole story with whatever we feel like.
We advise you to stop listening now.
Exactly. As Lemony would so gladly do himself. So, Mary, you read the books, right?
I did. Twice.
I've
read them twice. I read them once.
Books are for nerds. What a nerd.
Nerd. I read them as a child, a young reader, because I picked them up from the bookstore as they were coming out. Back when Borders was a thing, I used to go buy them at Borders. I think some of them still have the Borders stickers on them. Blast from the past. But I read them couldn't wait for them to come out as a kid, and then finished the series. There's 13 books. And after I finished them, I started reading other things, and I got to college and I was going through books. I said, I should read these again because I remember they were funny. And they're pretty sophisticated too. And I learned new vocabulary from them. And the great thing about the books is that he actually defines it for you. So he uses a word like penultimate and then defines it for you. So you learn vocab and you feel like an adult as reading the books, because he treats you like an adult. And the premise of the books is that all the adults in the Baudelaire universe are completely inept, and the kids are the ones who know what's going on and can actually get stuff done. So it's kind of nice to read that as a kid and say oh, cool, kids can do stuff too. So I read them again in college, and I could not put them down. They were absolutely hilarious as a second read through. And it was a nice like diversion from textbook reading.
That's good. Does the tone of the show match the tone of the books, or are they different?
Absolutely. They are so close. That's what I really loved about the show. Is if anybody remembers back in like 2006 or whatever the heck the movie.
That's too far.
I don't know when it came out.
That's too far away.
Okay.
No one remembers that.
No one remembers that. We've all erased it from our minds. But if you remember way back when Nickelodeon produced a movie of the first three books.
Nickelodeon movie?
It was Nickelodeon.
Really?
And Jim Carrey starred as Count Olaf.
He was great.
Meryl Streep was in it as Aunt Josephine.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Connolly was Uncle Monty.
Yep, I remember that.
And Jude Law was the voice of Lemony Snicket.
He was also the body of Lemony Snicket. We do see Lemony Snicket.
It's like in this shadowy, like,
he like types in a clock tower or something like that.
Yeah. So that movie came out and it covered the first three books, and it just.
Who's Mr. Poe in that movie? Oh, know who it is? It's it's Peter Pettigrew. What's his name? Timothy Spall.
Timothy Spall? Is it really him?
Spall. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look it up. I'll use my lookup for you.
So that movie, while it was like great cast, right? I mean, how could you go wrong? But they had to shove 3 books worth of stuff. And granted, I mean, the books aren't long. They were a quick read.
Right.
So it's not tons of stuff, but they're highly detailed books, and everything fits together like a jigsaw puzzle. So every little detail all comes back eventually to make sense in the end.
Movie came out in 2004.
Aha, okay.
And what was I looking up? I forgot.
Who played Mr. Spall? It's Timothy Spall. Okay.
Yep. Catherine O'Hara as Justice Strauss.
See, I can't remember.
Craig Ferguson as person as indeterminate.
Hench person of indeterminate gender.
Yeah. Wow, really? Craig Ferguson, person of indeterminate gender.
See, like, I don't even remember what the hench people looked like in the film. That's how
like Craig Ferguson.
But that's like how little the movie affected me. Like, there were a few funny things. It just seemed like this weird, like, gothic, macabre kind of like Edward Scissorhands kind of feeling.
Yeah,
movie.
It definitely has a Tim Burton vibe.
Tim Burton. Just it felt like Tim Burton. And funny fact, so I have here, Timothy was so kind and bought me this lovely book, this enormous book. It is the Incomplete History of Secret Organizations, an utterly unreliable account of Netflix's A Series of Unfortunate Events.
You can't trust it, though. It's unreliable.
You can't trust it at all. This is actually a really cool book if anybody is interested in the series, or if you're like Lemony Snicket fans. It's very detailed. But fun fact, the director of the show was supposed to be the director of that film, and he got fired.
Really?
You can tell I'm engaged to Tim because, like, before I knew Tim, I would never have, like, found that factoid cool, but he's rubbing off on me, people.
I try.
It's all this.
I'm like soap. Yep. I whittle away.
It's just
something like that.
It's scary. It's scary. So he was supposed to be the director. He got fired, and Daniel Handler, the author of A Series of Unfortunate Events, aka Lemony Snicket, also got fired.
His name's not. I'm sorry.
No, he also got fired from the film.
Huh? You can't fire the creator. Well, actually, you can, but that's dumb.
I guess so. Yeah. So that may be why the movie was so crummy.
I just remember liking the way that Jim Carrey says hello to the Baudelaire orphans.
Hello.
I think that sticks in my brain.
Yeah.
But the director of the movie is actually the director of Casper, the Friendly Ghost.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's my fun fact.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know what, it just didn't strike. Like Neil Patrick Harris, and I love Jim Carrey. I think he's great, but Neil Patrick Harris just takes it and like takes it away. Like, it's awesome.
Who was your favorite? Because for those who don't know, the conceit is that, the Baudelaire's parents, they die in a fire.
Yeah, mysterious fire. We don't know.
Mysterious fire. We don't know, and so they kind of move from one guardian to the next guardian to the next guardian, who are all part of this potentially secret organization. And the Count Olaf is after the Baudelaire fortune. He needs the kids to claim that fortune.
Yeah. And he's part of the secret organization
and he is
as well.
also, or was part of the secret organization.
So the secret organization, VFD, Volunteer Fire Department, which they finally... Like, I love the show because it fleshed out the books. like you kind of were like, oh, is that what it stands for? Or like, oh, did this person do that or whatever? The show just took it all and answered most of those questions that I had lingering from the books, which was great. So I feel like they fleshed it out really beautifully without like sacrificing anything from the book. Like they were true to the books. So the VFD had a big schism. So they were like all hunky dory for a while. Then they split because of this like mixed up ideology of like fighting fire with fire and like who's gonna, who's good, who's bad, what is good and bad. That it's very morally ambiguous.
Yeah,
this universe, which is kind of like what I don't like about it, but it makes for an interesting story.
Why don't you like that about it?
I don't know. Like I get annoyed with things that are morally ambiguous. Like sometimes I get annoyed with Game of Thrones. Or, you know what I mean? Like that's
because you don't feel like there's anybody truly good in the universe. Like,
yeah.
Like there's no one really to root for. There's no Samwise Gamgee, right? Where
yes.
You're just like, or I guess arguably maybe Luke Skywalker or something like that, where you're just like, you're just a good person and I'm on your side. Yeah.
And you know who like to root. And like, I'm fine with like having bad characters and whatever and twists and, secrets and stuff like that. But this is why I love The Lord of the Rings so much, because it's like, this is good, this is evil. Yeah. Let us watch what happens.
That's true, but I would really hesitate to call the Baudelaire orphans bad.
No. They're surrounded by a lot of like
moral ambiguity.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes them interesting as characters.
Yeah, and they struggle with it too. The kids struggle with the moral ambiguity.
Oh yeah,
around them.
So each episode of the show is two episodes per show is one book of the series.
Correct.
Right? Or just about that.
Yeah, so they took the end. The 13th book is called The End. Mm-hmm. They only had one episode for that.
Yeah,
which was fine. But yeah, I don't think they needed 2 episodes. It was fine.
I think I would have got sick of the end at that point. I think too.
Yeah,
especially the island and everything. So, so my question is: so after all, so going through all of that, what was your favorite set piece?
My favorite set piece,
because the sets in this show, the production design is just out of this world.
It's stunning, and this is like a high budget. I'm just like flipping through the book today before doing this, and they were saying like the sets were so expensive. They had 125 carpenters working at once.
Wow, at once.
So that's like a lot. There's a lot going on. So they spent no expense on this show. So every set, and I feel like when we were watching it, we're like, wow, that set's great. Like everyone got better and better. But I think it's between the reptile room.
Yeah, well.
And
if I didn't think that was your favorite, then I don't deserve to be in the same room with you. Yeah.
The reptile room or I don't know.
So I guess it's the reptile room.
It's the reptile room, and probably the submarine was really cool.
Submarine was very cool.
That was really cool. But yeah, I love the reptile room.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to, they don't equate to your favorite episodes either, right? Because your favorite room, like, because I loved the submarine, but those weren't my favorite episodes.
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah. But I do like the reptile room. That's probably one of my favorite books.
Yeah, like the hospital was great. It was super creepy, but it's not my favorite. You know what I mean? I think I like the episode more than the set.
Yeah. The hotel set was fantastic.
Yeah, I think that one was my favorite. The hotel set was just both hotel sets actually. Both hotels, because there's the 3rd season hotel and the 2nd season hotel.
Oh, you're talking about Dark Avenue, the penthouse.
The penthouse.
The penthouse was really great.
That's right. Yeah, not a hotel. It was penthouse. Yeah, was just stupidly good.
Yeah,
stupidly good. Yeah. So, okay, so that's that. Who was your favorite? Who was your favorite guardian?
My favorite guardian,
because you have Aunt Josephine and Uncle Monty, and then other people's names who I can't remember. So these are not. I don't want side characters, but I want
the guardian
or VFD members. I want the actual just the guardians.
Okay. Well, most of the guardians are VFD members.
Yes, I know.
That's how they get passed between the people.
Right. I knew. Well, I mean, I knew that. That's fairly obvious when you watch the show.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, like, I don't want other auxiliary characters that are not guardians.
Okay.
Different ones.
Okay, it's Uncle Monty, of course, because he's a herpetologist.
Right. I liked Uncle Monty. I don't love Uncle Monty.
Really? Oh, I always liked Uncle Monty's character because he's like this eccentric kind of like. This is what I do. Although my pet peeve is that they're like, I'm a herpetologist. And as you know, and then like Lemony Snicket defines it for you. Like a herpetologist is somebody who studies snakes. No, a herpetologist is somebody who studies reptiles and amphibians, not just snakes.
That's true.
And I think in the reptile room, he even says like, oh, it's filled with reptiles, like toads. I'm like, toads are amphibians. This is very simple.
Nobody.
I know nobody else cares.
I don't know if it is caring. I don't know if anybody's going to call them out on
Anybody with a decent science background should know.
So I'm thinking of my own question, like who's my favorite guardian? It might be Jerome Squalor.
Oh yeah, Jerome.
The penthouse guy. He was hilarious. Like really, truly, like funny.
Yeah, he was funny. So who's your favorite side character? Because there's so many. There's like a gazillion side characters, and they're all hysterical.
Okay, so I'm going to leave the Snicket family out of this because there's 3 Snickets, so we'll talk about them later. Yeah. My favorite side character, good character, is Larry, your waiter.
I knew you were going to say, I'm Larry, your waiter.
I'm Larry, your waiter. He's hilarious. He's so funny. Just fish costumes and clown costumes and whatever weird eccentric restaurant.
He answers the phone. Hi, this is Larry, your waiter.
Larry, your waiter. I think that's supposed to be his actual
last name.
Yeah. Your waiter. Mm-hmm. I was about 10 feet away from him in December.
Oh, really?
Remember? Because when I went to go see To Kill a Mockingbird with Jeff Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I saw it. Jeff Daniels was in it. I didn't see it with Jeff Daniels. My buddy Jeffy.
I was on stage with him.
And then they dragged me off because I wasn't supposed to be there. But no, I saw it with Palmer of Academy Rewind fame. I guess life fame too, not the magazine, just being alive.
Yeah, he's also on Beer with Geeks.
He is sometimes, yes, he is. And Supergirl TV Talk for that matter. He's very everywhere. Palmer's got his hands.
He's a jack of all trades
in all the dishes. He has his hands in all the dishes. Palmer, wash your hands. Anyway.
It's going to be like, no.
Yes. No.
You wash your hands.
So I saw it with Palmer, but then, we were at the stage door waiting for Jeff Daniels and a few other people popped out. Sarah Paulson was there and Taylor Holland, but Larry, your waiter, also was waiting outside the stage door. But I couldn't remember where I knew him from while I was looking at him the whole time. I was like, I know who you are, and I just couldn't figure it out. And it was like the train ride home or the next day where I was like, that was Larry, your waiter. I was so close to him. Anyway, I love Larry, your waiter.
Okay, Larry, your waiter.
Yeah, how about you?
Oh, that's so hard because there's like.
I mean, what about those are just your. What about just the good people? So don't do the henchmen.
Okay. Just the good on the good side of VFD. My favorite side character.
I know.
Oh gosh.
There's so many good ones. There's like so many good ones. I know. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a here. Yeah, no, we'll be here all night if I try to.
Yeah, you're just staring at me blankly. This is not good podcasting, Mary. Yeah.
I'm new at this.
Not talking does not make good radio.
Okay, well, skip my question.
Okay.
Skip over me.
Well, then fine. Favorite henchman.
Favorite henchman. Oh gosh. Why? The hook-handed man.
The hook-handed man is pretty great.
Hooky, he's funny. I like the hench person of indeterminate gender too because they have the wonderful capability of just like the one-liners that come out at random times. My home is the sea. Actually, it's a large lake.
It's good. It's good. I think mine was going to be the henchman of indeterminate gender, but I think the sinister duo, the woman,
the sisters.
The man with a beard and the woman. The man with no hair and a beard and the woman with hair and no beard.
Which actually, if you look at them very closely, the man's like beard
is her
piece
hair.
Is her hair. It's just flipped upside down.
They're so they're I wouldn't call them funny, but I wanted to see so much more of them.
Yeah,
that I just couldn't help but like stare at them.
Yeah.
They were just so cool looking.
Yeah.
I loved that. Your favorite Count Olaf disguise.
Oh, that one's hard. Because they're really good.
I know. Well, I mean, there's so many of them too.
There are so many of them.
Because if you go through, there's regular Count Olaf, and then there's the scientist guy.
Stefano. I am Stefano.
Yep.
That guy.
And then there's my favorite, Captain Sham.
Oh yeah. He's
Captain
that's
Sham
funny.
is my favorite. My home is the
sea.
Oh, it's so good. And then Captain Sham, and then the lumberjack guy.
Oh, then he's like the assistant for he's like the
dentist.
secretary for the eye doctor. I didn't like that one. Coach Genghis is pretty funny because he's wearing a turban, but he does like a southern accent.
Oh yeah,
like this the whole time. It's pretty funny.
with Roger Bart as the vice principal, he was great.
Yeah, Vice Principal Hero. Come and sit down for my violin recital. I think I like Captain Sham, and I like the detective because I was reading in the book Detective Dupin. He based that off of the Cheetos cheetah. That's where he got the idea.
That's amazing.
It's just not cool. So that one, and what's the next one I'm thinking of? Oh gosh, not that.
The doctor.
Oh, Gunter in the ersatz elevator. That's probably my favorite. I am foreign, please.
Oh yeah, that one is
He's got
good.
these big like false teeth, these huge sunglasses, these tall boots. It's so funny.
That one's good because his costumes, they always tried to hide.
The
Count Wolf
eyebrow.
always tries to hide his unibrow because that was he thought his defining feature.
Yeah.
Even though all of it is defining.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I have a special place in my heart for Mr. Poe, who is quite possibly the dumbest person alive.
He is so dumb. I like when they go to the village and he's like, "Oh, I wonder how they'll pick who your guardians are. I hope it's like that charming the lottery." He's referencing the lottery, the short story, The Lottery.
Oh, yeah.
where they.
It's the Shirley Jackson story.
Shirley Jackson, that's it. Yeah, I was like that charming Shirley Jackson story.
I forgot about that. That's good. I like when Kit Snicket is his secretary, but not his secretary. He's like, oh, she just never comes to work.
I don't actually work for you. Jacqueline. She's just under the table all the time. She's just underneath the desk on the phone all the time.
It's great. So that actually brings it. So there are three Snickets there are three Snickets that you get. There's Lemony Snicket, the narrator, Patrick Warburton, and then his brother Jacques, played by Nathan Fillion, and then there's Kit Snicket, played by Allison Williams. And so, who is your favorite Snicket?
Oh, Lemony.
Lemonie's your favorite.
Yeah, he's
without
my
question.
favorite because it's just so awkward.
They get more normal as they go on. It's funny. Like Lemony, the oldest, is like just a weird guy.
Yeah.
And then Jacques is cool.
Yeah.
But Kit is just like a nice regular person.
Yeah, I'm just a normal person. I like Lemony, like because they put him in. I just like the narration, the quickness of it. I was reading in the book they were trying to push them to talk faster.
Really?
Because they wanted it to be really snappy. Because the lines, when they say them, a lot of times it's funny because it's fast.
That's correct. Yeah.
It wouldn't be funny if they did, but he just like rolls right into one thing for the other. It'd be like if something happened and then somebody said pistachios for everyone, and something happened, and then they cut quickly to like something that happens that he just referenced, and it happens in the show, and he goes pistachios for everyone. I also like Patrick Warburton because I've always loved him since Seinfeld.
Right.
Go support
And
the team.
He really is his most Patrick Warburton-y.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. He's so good. I think the thing that I liked about the show the most is that even though, and I'm sure this is just the tone, that even though it says like a series of unfortunate events, it is like if it's not funny, if it's done without this like wink and a smile and like it could be the most depressing thing you ever watch.
Oh yeah.
It could be because it just the subject matter itself is so depressing, but it just keeps moving because it's so dry. It is quite possibly one of the driest, funniest things I've ever watched. Like if you like Mel Brooks, you will like Lemony Snicket.
Yes, I would say that. Yeah, yeah. Although Mel Brooks is dry, but he's also silly.
That's true.
There's a lot of silliness. There's not a lot of silliness to this because it's just so dry.
I disagree. I think Olaf and the henchmen counter with silliness.
Yeah.
I think there's dryness, but I think they are silly. Like the trial at the end where Count Olaf goes to like sing a song and the judge is like, you can't do your final refrain in song. And he's like, fine. And he
plays one note.
Plays one note. Like,
no more side plots.
Where did the piano come from?
Yeah. He's just like sitting on a couch. I think it's funny because he's like a villain that, like in the book, there's none of that.
Oh, really?
There's none of that real silliness. I don't find him silly in the book. You find him terrifying in the book. He's just this awful human being. And yes, he is awful in the show, but they give him so much more depth because you see like his past and what drove him to be where he is.
Sure.
Because it's coming from a position of like he's just been through a lot of hurt.
Well, it's crazy that it's like so he's coming from a position of loss himself, and so he then inflicts that pain on other people, and so it's very classic supervillainy, right? Like I feel something, so I'll make sure nobody feels anything ever again. It has that same poetry to it, I guess. Yeah. So I wonder if that silliness came, like, even though the Jim Carrey movie didn't do very well, I wonder if it like came from that kind of that influence, because Jim Carrey is a silly Olaf.
Yeah, he is.
And so I wonder if that imagery of Jim Carrey just kind of stuck in people's minds, even in Neil Patrick Harris, without even like thinking about it.
Yeah,
or if that was the show being like, hey, it's depressing and for kids, so let's do this. Although this isn't really for kids. Like like it is and it's not. Like there's nothing in there that would like really shock or awe children. But the majority of the jokes are for adults.
Yeah. It is very adult humor. Because I think it's the writing that makes it so silly. It's like this quick, because he's trying to be scary, and then something will happen. He's like, something happens, and inevitably, and it just throws it a little bit. So the show doesn't take itself too seriously.
No,
you could tell that like. This is serious. Like he's actually after these kids, and like he's not gonna stop. You know what I mean?
No,
so
he's very there's that episode we talked about this with. We haven't talked to Ismay Squalor at all.
Yeah, she's terrifying.
She's actually kind of scary and hilarious in her own way too. But that episode in the hospital when she's like hunting for the kids is like actually scary.
Yeah, the hospital episode scared me just entirely.
Yeah, just as a human.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get scared at little things. It's okay. It's cute. It's fine. Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thousands of people will hear this episode, by the way. So thousands of people know you get scared at ladybugs.
I love ladybugs.
Nope. I already said it. There's actually a ladybug in the house today. FYI, you can go hunting for it, unless the cat ate it, which is very
plausible. Very plausible.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one who's afraid of bugs in this relationship.
Yeah.
He can't even look at butterflies.
That's not true.
I have a thing with butterflies, and you're like, ew, dead bugs.
Dead butterflies are different than alive butterflies.
Okay.
Just put that out there. Okay. Dead things are different than alive things. That's my science lesson for today.
Okay. Very good. Anyways, I digress.
Good. I'm so glad. What do you think of the kids, the Baudelaires themselves? They do a nice job?
The actors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job.
Are they like that in the book too? Or the way they are? Because I thought the kids were great. They really did a nice job.
Yeah, the kids are like very, very smart, and you don't get annoyed with the kids in the books or anything like that. I feel like they did a really good job.
They're very watchable child actors too.
Yes.
Because sometimes child actors, you just want to like, oh my God, they're just not good.
Yeah.
But Carmelita was great too.
Oh, she's funny.
She's real funny.
She did a really good job. She made you want to slap her.
Oh yeah, the worst way. I don't think there was really a weak link in the show, which is why I think I enjoyed it overall. Like I can't really think of anything where I was like, that was just okay.
Yeah, no, everybody did a really good job.
Maybe the log factory episodes. I think that wasn't so much the show; it was just the story they had to adapt.
Yeah.
That was very uninteresting.
But I don't like the lumber mill one.
The lumber mill, that's it. Yeah, but the rest of it was
the miserable mill. Yeah,
the rest of it's top notch. Would recommend. Wish there were more, but I'm also glad that it wrapped up in a satisfying way.
Yes, I was very satisfied when it ended. I said, "Yes, that's it." I feel good. Then they said they didn't want to continue. They're not going to continue to make like series of unfortunate events too, and like they're just ending it there because they said we have a set piece that works.
The story that we're going to tell, and we're done.
Yeah.
I like that about that. I like that about the show. Yeah, it's really good. I recommend checking it out if you want a good laugh, because it is funny. Especially, I know some people were like, I liked the original movie so much I don't want to watch this one. I said, if you liked the original movie, this is even better.
Yeah,
it's better, because I do kind of like that first movie. So
I like it for what it is. I just love that Netflix is doing these things now where they're taking stuff that people were maybe slightly disappointed with on the first go around because they tried to
better versions of them.
They tried to cram too much into too little time, and like they're going to do Narnia, and I'm so thrilled because
the only real good one is the first one.
The first one, yeah, because they're just trying too hard and just So they're beautiful films, but they just didn't get the story right. So I'm looking forward to what Netflix will do.
We'll see. Well, anyway, this was fun. So you can find us at Beer with Geeks at beerwithgeeks.com, Facebook, Gmail, and Twitter. You can rate and review us on iTunes. Find us on all the places podcasts can be found. You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio and donate as little as 25 cents a week, $1 a month, $12 a year to keep the lights on. Cheaper than Netflix, even for a month. Delivering quality sound entertainment to you. Get it? Sound, because this is an audio program. If you like Mary and want to hear more of Mary, you can, of course, check her out at Tolkien TV Talk. And, of course, tell us if you like her enough, and she can come back on this show.
Wow.
Wow.
They like me. No? They really, really like me.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Okay. They might, though.
When I come back, I'll say that. Okay.
Yeah, okay. That's great. Yeah, you got to come back.
Okay. All right. I'll come up with more ideas. I always feel like Lucy from I Love Lucy with this show. Like
Lucy Ball.
Timmy, when am I gonna be on the show?
They call me Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play my maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
Anyway.
You can't see it right now, but he's dancing like Ricky Ricardo.
I was.
It's great. It's pretty impressive.
Anyway. Until next time.
Cheers.